as Dash of Dave. He'll take some scraps and bits of this, turn them into something you can't miss. Junk journals, tapes, and crops galore. He'll have you begging, show me more. Oh, Dash of Dave, oh, what a sight, mixing colors day and night.
Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here, and I'm back for another crafty video. So today, I'm going to be very transparent with you now. I am not feeling it today. I feel very much like I could cry. I feel, so if I do cry, this is just a warning for you. I'm feeling quite inadequate. I don't feel like I am as good as anybody else. I go through phases like this. This is part of me and dealing with who I am and my self-identity. I've had a couple of challenges and I've had a couple of negative comments which clearly haven't helped me. I thought I'd been able to brush them off, but I think they're kind of just, worrying me in my head. So I'm not going to put myself under any pressure today. I am putting myself under pressure, because if I don't put myself under some kind of pressure, I won't do a video, and then there won't be any videos next week. So today is Sunday the 11th of May, and I'm putting myself under pressure to make something. So today I was inspired by this. It's taken a lot to get me inspired though. I've been sat at my desk for now 2 hours staring into space. So, well, a little over 2 hours. What I'm going to do is, I bought this yesterday. Me and Vic went to Manchester yesterday. It was a long day. I don't think that's helped. I feel a bit exhausted, to be fair. And went into a charity shop, saw this, loved it, and Vic bought it for me. So it's a stamp album. I think it says in the corner here, to Brian from Mum and Dad, January 13th, 1954. It's stuck together, a bit of nice old sellotape. That was also very nice. Then there was the map, and then we've got, excuse me, yawning. Then we've got stamps. So some of them don't have very many on. Some of them have a fair few. Some of them have more. And like I say, there's quite a few. I'll go through the album. I'll just show you what I've got. So I just love old stamps. There's just something about an old stamp that kind of fills me with joy, and it's a real connection to the past, isn't it? It was you're probably attached to somebody's letter that meant that they heard from a loved one, or had to pay a fine. I don't know, but it's some kind of communication. There's a lot from places that don't exist anymore, like Czechoslovakia, for instance. There's some from countries that have since been renamed, or become part of another territory or whatever. Not all the stamps are necessarily from that particular page. Some of them, like, they're fallen out, but I'll go through all of everything here anyway. So like you can see, there's some really beautiful stamps in here. Some of them are not quite so interesting. Some of them are very interesting. Some of them have got him on, which it's, I guess 1954. I guess it depends. This is when the person was collecting them. This doesn't mean to say that they haven't had them since before that. But yeah, and also, the way that we look at history through a different lens also affects it. So this is the UK, so Great Britain. Obviously, I have a big interest in this because this is my country. So this stamp here, for instance, is dated 1923 to 1948, and this one's dated. So this is the Jubilee or a celebration or whatever it was. This is 1840 to 1940. So that would have been a stamp from around 1940. I guess, you know, some of these stamps have been around for a while and they were then stuck into a book. So that's the reason why that other man was on. I'll not say his name. There's too many of his clan back in the world again. So yeah, so there's some. I found this was really interesting as well, because obviously this means a lot to me as well, because my partner is Hungarian, so Vic's Hungarian, so you know, we were fascinated to look at these, and again, nice images. So then we've got some here, and then these are pages that have completely fallen out of something else, not this book though, because they are different orientation, but interesting nevertheless. So they were just inside, so you know, it was all bundled up as part of one thing. So and then obviously as we go through, I won't hover too long on pages. I'll just kind of flip through, because not all of them are very interesting, especially if they haven't got anything on them. I like these stamps that are like triangular ones that fit in the corner. Then there was these. This is another extra find. So these are all tucked away in here. I can't read them, and I can't necessarily see what the date was on the postmark, but they are definitely old. Look at those beautiful envelopes, and they're kind of shiny. It's that's been made using what have they called, duplicators. Some of them for some reason have got bits. Oh, I guess I was just thinking some of them have got things cut out, but I guess they were put in the book. That would explain that. That's an extra one there. Bank of Romania Limited, Bucharest. So yeah, there's some interesting. They're just beautiful objects. Objet d'art. That beautiful purple inside. Yeah, so there's those, but then also there was this, which is. This also came with all of these inside, so there's loads of like stamps that are, I don't know what countries they're from or whatever. I guess I think that might be torn off one of those other corners off, but I just left all of those inside as they're all nice loose ones. Now I would love to tell you that I don't have any stamps, and that's the reason why I have bought this, well, why I wanted it, but I do have lots of old stamps still, but you know, I don't know, it's that fear of running out or using the last one of history or that sort of thing. So there's those, and then we'll go through the rest of it. Obviously some of you will be interested in what was that one. Let's review no, not Nicaragua. I don't know, thought I'd seen Australia. We may have passed through Australia, I'm afraid. Poland, Russia. One of those corner stamps. It's stuck down. It is. Yeah, it's stuck on there. Not very well, I would say. So I don't know who had this, but they were a bit careless about sticking things in. There you go, Spain. So a lot from Spain. That is a beautiful one there. And then we've got, what else have we got? United States of America. So there's some nice interesting stamps there. I don't know what, I have no idea what an American stamp looks like these days. And then these are just kind of ones blank. And that's the back page. And there we go. So yeah, I felt it's kind of as inspired as I was going to ever feel today, I felt inspired to do some stamps. So these are some of the stamps that I've made previously. These are some of my giant stamps. So I like making giant stamps because obviously you've got a bigger area to work with. I think we're going to make some more either this size or smaller, and that's a really small one that I made. So that's what we're going to do today. So I've got some card here, and I think I'm going to decide how big I want my stamp first, and then we'll cut it down to that sort of size, because then I will cut it with a crimped edge as well. So I think we'll go for, let's make one that's like 2.5 inches. Yeah, that's about right. We could do a landscape one that's like 2.5 by about 5. And then we could make a portrait style one that's about 2.5 by 3.5. And then we've got that one, which I think is the same size. It is. Okay, so what are we going to do? So these are pinking shears. So pinking shears, let me get a piece of card to play with. Yeah, here we go. So pinking shears give you a zigzag edge. These are scallop scissors, which give you a scalloped edge. But if you do them in reverse, and use them upside down, they give you a reverse scalloped edge, which is exactly the way the edge of a stamp looks. So that's what I'm going to use today to cut these out with. So I just have to remember which ones I'm using, not them, and that I use them upside down. So I'm then going to follow the edge, hopefully following the edge using, so I'm going to use the kind of the width of this blade, hopefully. It might not work out being perfectly straight because it's really hard to reverse cut. And you see that's not going to be straight, Dave. Let's try that again. So let's try and get a straight line, Dave. And basically, if the bit that you've cut off is kind of the same width all the way along, you've kind of achieved what you wanted to achieve. So is that, oh, that's not bad, is it? Oh, it's not perfect, but hey. And then we're going to go down here, and then down here. Is that kind of straight? Kind of straight. Here. Yep, and then like that. Cool. Okay, so that's what I'm going to work with. So now, how big is that? So I'm trying to just kind of focus and work. I can feel emotions very much on the surface. I am a person who wears my heart on my sleeve, and I can get very upset. So I think I'm going to go 4.5 by 2 as the inner image. So I will need some more cardboard. I mean, I guess paper might work better. Actually, I'm going to use this cardboard because it's a bit thinner. What did I just say? 2, was it? 2 by 4.5? Yeah, 2 by 4.5. And then this is the piece on which we're going to make the... Right, let's try and get it straight first. Just cut that edge off, otherwise it's just going to get stuck in everything. And let's cut that edge off so it's straight. Right, now we're going to go with 2. No, why is that not straight? Don't know. I don't have the brain capacity to work any of this out today. So 2 by 4.5, I think I said. then this is the bit that we're going to make the image on, and then when we stick it to this, it'll have a frame around it that's like a stamp. There we go, like that. So we'll work on this and we will make this into something, a thing of, well, hopefully a thing of beauty. So I think I'm going to give it a kind of a smooshy background, maybe. Or do I want to give it one of these backgrounds? So these are colouring pages from adult colouring books that I don't ever do. Not very good at colouring, to be fair. I get frustrated with myself if I go over the edge. So I thought I could maybe use some of this as a background to it, and then put something over the top. Maybe a butterfly or something. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. In fact, I'm not going to bother using that piece that I've made. I'm actually going to cut this to that same size, and then we'll use this piece. Which way around am I doing? Oh yeah, it's 2 this way around. On that straight line. 2. Oh, because I need to cut it with something. I need to sort that edge out. Can't leave it like that. Sorry. I've got all. By the way, my exciting thing is I bought myself a second one of these because I keep losing this. So I thought if I had 2 on my desk, I've got more chance of finding one of them. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to work. I might lose both of them, but we do what we can do. So, news for me. I have some surgery coming up. I've got my pre-op surgery, pre-op meeting on Tuesday. Kind of playing in the background in my head. I keep saying, "Oh no, I'm fine. No, it's all right. Not worried about it." But I am. I'm kind of not worried about it. I'm kind of. It's in my head. So, I've had some tests done, and whilst I have a lump, and whilst that lump they don't believe is cancerous, because that's been playing on my mind for a while. They don't believe it's cancerous. They do want to remove it. So I've got to have that done. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll use that. So use this card. I'll use the card as the back paper. Oh look, I've got a knife on each side now. And I kind of want to just soften that up. I don't want it to be completely boring. No, I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be white. So maybe I'm not sure. Might use some green on it. Or exciting news as well. I have these. I bought myself some more sponges, some blending sponges. Now these are supposed to be for makeup. They aren't the ones that you buy for craft purposes, because I can't find the ones for craft purposes anywhere. So I'm going to go for a dirty green colour. I'm just going to brush it off so that when I brush it on, it's not too much. Yeah, so that's my news. But you know, once I've had it, I'll talk about it. But at the moment, I'm not. Maybe that's in my mind, playing in my mind as well. Put me under a bit of stress. Of course, my mum's property is still in probate as well, which is putting stress on the family generally. I don't know. Do I fancy colouring that in? Like I say, I am not an expert colourer. I don't have cholera either. Just bear with me a second. Right, I do have these, which I thought I'd give a try of. I've never used it. Well, I say I never used them. I think I might have used one or two colours for a few things here and there. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to control that, but we'll give it a go. I was thinking like some mushrooms in brown. See, I'm not great. I'm not the greatest in the world at colouring things. Like, if you can hear any noises in the background, Vic's having a sneezing fit for some reason. So, thing with being autistic is you like things to be really perfect, but then realise that your capability of making things look perfect is not very good. Well, I can't think that is a different colour. Hang on, is that a different colour to that? I guess very tonally it is. Is this going to be too pink or too peachy even? Maybe put some of this down and then try another colour over the top of it. I wanted one that was a bit more beige coloured, but I don't think I can. Oh, what's that? It's orange to me. Let's go with this. So do other people struggle with their own kind of self-belief? See, I was always taught that if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So when people are mean to me online, I find it really difficult because I just think, well, I wouldn't have said it. But I guess people get a rise out of people being put down. I guess if you don't have the ability to raise yourself up, the only way to make yourself feel higher is to pull somebody down. I guess there's that whole thing of what is it? A drowning man loves company. Yeah, we're not going to colour these in because nobody wants to sit and watch me colour it in. And also, when you're having self-doubt, the last thing you want to be doing is putting yourself into pressure, thinking by overthinking that other people are going to be criticising you for doing something completely new. So let's go back to the drawing board, and we're going to go. Just cut the bottom bit off, and we'll stick something over that. This is why crafting when you're not feeling it is probably not a good idea. So I'm just going to do that. I know that it's going to make a horrible line. Yep. And then I'm going to do 4.5 that way. I know I could put multiple layers down and get a nice crisp edge of that, but I'm not worried about it. It's because it's very fine paper, so I'm just going to cut it off. It's not that I don't know how to do it, it's just that I can't be bothered to do it. And also, I think it's also a bit kind of open season these days. People seem to think that because a certain something and certain someone is happening in a certain place of the world, that everybody is entitled to say what they think and make other people feel the way that they have always wanted them to feel. But That's, for me, that isn't the case. Regardless of what people believe and whatever, it's your opinion. I don't enforce my opinion on other people. That's why I never say to you that this is the way to do it. I do watch some crafters who say the only way to make this is to do this X, Y, and Z, and I'm not a believer of that. I'm a believer of finding your own way and doing your own thing, because that's what raises people up. Is the empowerment of others, not taking things away. And maybe that's the reason why I am not as successful as other crafters and other craft channels, because I'm not a believer of putting someone down in order to raise myself up. And maybe that's what I need to be. I might need to be more ruthless. Well, in that case, then, if I need to be ruthless, it's not going to happen, because I can't. A leopard cannot change its spots, and a dash of Dave can never be more than a dash. But yeah, I think maybe that. Well, that's what I think anyway. It's my opinion. Like I say, I'm not here to influence you or make you change your mind about things. But remember, your opinion, other people shouldn't live by your opinion. It's only your opinion, it is not fact. So, and it's getting a bit much for me in the world. The world is not meant for people with a delicate soul like I have, because I don't like people being unkind to other people, and it's become like that. The world is becoming more like we have to tolerate other people telling us just how wrong we are in their words. And whilst they're only words, and yes, I know that you shouldn't let it get to you. It does, and can't do anything about it. Right, okay, so I've been looking at this while I've been cutting that out, and I'm thinking maybe this has got some like interesting things on it. It's a piece of what's it called, cardstock. I was thinking maybe I could have, is it too brown if I put a brown butterfly on it? Or let's have a look what I've got over here. So I've got this, which is my stuff that I made. The stuff that I made, Dave. Maybe that. Or quite like that on there. The stuff that I made, what is it called, Dave? You idiot. What is it? I'll cut that one out because it's nice and near the edge. My faux glassine. So this is just it was a napkin that turned into some glassine. So ideally I should be, don't be ham-fisted about it, Dave. Just cut it with the scissors that you're supposed to be cutting it with. So cut it with my smaller scissors then. Could do with some more of these, because this is becoming loose, but I don't know how you tighten it up. So it's how my bigger version of these has gone very loose. Sorry, smaller version of these has gone very loose, and it now doesn't. It bypasses the paper. It doesn't. They don't cut. It just kind of gets trapped in between the blades. So so yeah. So if you are still watching me and you haven't turned off because I don't sympathise with your callous actions, then if you're still here, hopefully you believe like I believe, that we should be doing things to lift each other up, not put each other down. So, because I feel sorry for anybody these days that has had to grow up with having social media. I mean, I'm from a generation that predates social media, and you know, I still have my problems. I grew up in Margaret Thatcher's Britain, which also did a good job of telling me that I wasn't worthy and that people like me shouldn't exist and that sort of thing. So, and I know how it scarred me, and so that kind of rhetoric is happening all over again, and it's just a very sad situation to be in. Trying not to cut this butterfly's antennae off. Doing my very best anyway. There we go. So I'll come back to the antennae when I feel a bit more brave. Oh, I was going to have a cup of tea before I started this video, but didn't happen. So I might reward myself after I've done it. Don't know which way round to stick this on. That's the matte side. Might use the matte side actually. So you always have, when you make the faux glassine, you have one side that's more shiny than the other. So, and whilst I know this is translucent and we can't really see this, the background once you put it on there, I want to cut it off. So I'm going to. I'm sure somebody will tell me what their opinion of it was. Like, I don't mind you if you tell me your opinion and you thought I was right to do it. It's when people can be very challenging and very outspoken that tell you that you're wrong. So people like me try not to listen and think, well, no, I just didn't do it your way. But it's still just, it's like a little, how can I describe it? For me, how it feels to me is like, if anybody remembers vinyl, if you don't remember vinyl, then this is not a conversation for you. If you remember vinyl, I mean, it's back now anyway, but if you scratch vinyl, you know, one scratch doesn't stop the record from playing. It's probably not going to skip and jump, you know, it depends on how deep the scratch is. And I guess that's also the same for comments. It depends on how wounding the comment is initially. But if you scratch the record, a little scratch will be fine, and 20 little scratches might be fine, but 21 little scratches might just mean that the record starts to skip and not be the same as it used to be. And that's kind of my metaphor for how it feels when people just constantly telling you stuff. So I like that. I don't know what I want to do in the background there. I don't know whether I want all of that. I don't know whether I could put something else over it. I don't want to use a sticker. I don't want to use what are they called? Like a flower sticker, you know, the shiny ones, because that's exactly what it'll be shiny. Maybe I could use a word quote, a word chip. Maybe I could do something that's maybe appropriate to my feelings today. Maybe that. Maybe just one life. Maybe just one life. So, I shall probably cut it down a bit because I think it looks silly with like a very big spacing on either end of it, but I'm just going to peel the back of this off. So that, he says they're going to peel the back of it off, or he might just rip it. But sure it'll look beautiful regardless. So there we go. It's better. So I'm going to cut the ends off. Oh no, nearly had my finger. And I might just, I might just stick that down, and I will stick it down, because otherwise it'll just peel off. But I will colour it as well. So I might also change the background colour. I think I might want to come in with another colour, like, well, not another colour, but like more colour. So maybe have it more greeny. Just kind of like coming in like an ombre. Look at me using big words like I know what I'm talking about. I don't even know whether you can see this. Just to give it a bit more dimension is what I was thinking. Oh yeah, you can see it. I might. There's a silly hedgehog there, like a cartoony hedgehog, and I'm a stylized hedgehog, and I'm not sure I like it. So I might have to a bit more up there. And if I've got, I'm sure I've got a deeper colour as well. A deeper love. I've got a lot of green, to be fair. So I've got a lot of the artistry ink ones, and I've got mowed lawn. I don't know, maybe avocado. Avocado. What's that look like? How does it look over that? Next to that, I mean. I don't know about that one. I don't know whether tonally it looks right. I bet this is definitely not going to be right then. No, that's definitely not right. It's got too much blue in it. Dry weed. Dry pad by the looks of it. Maybe dry weed. Let's go with dry weed, Dave. So just give it a bit of dimension. Not coming in as far in as the last time. And I'm sorry if I'm not making what you want me to make today. I've got some ideas for the week. I think what's going to happen on Friday, so we know how we don't have a one sheet wonder anymore because we've exhausted all of the, well, not exhausted them all because I made 52. I do have some ideas for some other ones. I don't know whether anybody wants to see 53, 54, maybe even 55. But but I do have, I think what I'm going to do on a Friday is I'm going to do Finish It Friday. So I've got loads of things that are partially complete items, and I think I'm going to try and do a bit of task and finish. And the reason why I want to do that is I think what my brain really needs is completion. So by the end of the week, I need to feel like I have completed some tasks so that I can reset for the next week. Because in my job, most of my tasks remain incomplete because there's so many things to do. So I was thinking maybe that might help me with my brain and how I process stuff. So I think I'm going to colour that in a bit of orange, and I'm going to use some spice marmalade, and just I don't know, just felt like it. I don't know whether it's the right thing to do or not the right thing. Let's just give me a smoosh of it on the thing. Yeah, I'm going to put that on. I don't care. You probably don't like it. I don't care. I do care really, but do I want to go soft? No, I'm going to go for it. Let's just go for it, Dave. So go for it all round, all over it, and then go for a softer, sorry, a darker edge around the edges. So far it's not really picking up very much dark colour. So yeah, I think I just needed to craft. Maybe not doing anything on an agenda. Might not be the most interesting video you've ever watched of mine, but it'll be one of the more raw and real ones. So I think I'm going to have that there, just one life. Sometimes things just happen the way they're meant to. I might have that there. Now I wondered if now might be the idea, might be the time to have another butterfly, maybe that small one. Let's just get it out of the middle of there. Oh, forgot, new blade. Just be very careful, Dave. You don't want to cut out your kidney. Well, one of your kidneys. You don't want to be doing the pre-op surgery yourself, so that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Going to my hospital appointment to discuss how they're going to cut out my lump, and me have already performed surgery on myself. Not going to be pleasant, I know. Well, Tuesday is not going to be a problem, but the surgery is not going to be pleasant, I know that. Hopefully I won't be, hopefully it'll be not done under general anaesthetic. Sorry, under local anaesthetic. Hopefully it'll be done under general anaesthetic and not local anaesthetic, because I hate it when you go and they say, well, you know, it's only a local anaesthetic that you need, and like they're so blasé about it, and then all through the operation you can feel them twisting and pulling and tugging, and you know your body's resistance against it. Right, I'm going to have to cut his antennae off because I can't. There's no way I can cut around them. And I always think, oh, that's all very well for you to say. It's only, we don't need to do general anaesthetic because it's only this. I'm like, oh, yeah. Have you had the surgery yourself? Do you know it's only? Are you speaking from experience or from perception? So, and I guess it is playing on my mind. It's true. You know, I don't worry about these things, but I guess it's there in the back of your head whenever you've got to. Why is it you get to a certain age and you have to have things done? It's like I was trying to explain to Vic. I mean, Vic hates it when, like, you know, because I'm 20 years younger, and he hates it when people say, well, you know, he's 20 years younger, and blah, 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 blah. 20 years older, and it's like me, being 20 years older, and like, you know, like he's not capable of doing the things that you can do, and blah, blah, blah. And I don't live to my age, but my body does say I can't do stuff. So I was thinking maybe that, and have that kind of on there as well. And we've got some dimension then, because I've got this one that's kind of translucent. I keep trying to get rid of those two lines, but they're lines, Dave, they're not things in the way. maybe have that like that, so they kind of just cross over a bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this down. Now I know that you're going to be able to see the glue initially, but it will just go transparent. You won't be able to see it anyway, so yeah, so I think there's also that, like I say, people just feel like they're allowed to say stuff these days. You're allowed to have an opinion. You don't have to tell everybody what it is, though, especially if you know it's going to hurt somebody. Sorry, just trying to get that kind of straight a bit. Like that. I know it hangs over the edge, but like, I'm not sure whether I might just fold it over. Yeah, let's fold it over rather than try and cut it off. And there's this thing about like telling men how people feel. You know, suicide really does affect men quite. There's a lot of statistics over men and suicide, so you just be careful what you say to people. Just because you might be able to brush it off doesn't mean to say somebody else can. There we go. So I think I'm going to just try and soften this edge down with a bit of maybe some antique linen, so it's not too stark white. What am I going to use? Oh, where have I put them? Oh. What am I going to use? Might use one of these. So these were dead cheap, so well, it's got some ink on it, so can you even tell that is even there? No, and I think that's because that's quite dry. So there is definitely another one of these somewhere. It'll just be that the label's facing the other way round. So that one, yeah, must be that one. Oh yeah, much better. Oh, much better. So yeah, what do you think to the idea for the new playlist? I mean, like by the time you've told me, I'll have probably already recorded the thing. So, so yeah, I want to do like a finish it because that's good for my mental health. Is to finish something. It's very good for you. It's very cathartic to be able to finish projects. So I know it looks patchy, but I'm hoping that when I put this on it, it won't. Oh, there you go. Just like I thought. So, yeah, so that's that one. I'll just glue this down. I can hear a bee or a wasp, but I can't tell whether it's in the room or outside. It's been really beautiful weather again outside, which is fine. I love the beautiful weather. However, it doesn't love me because I have rosacea, and you really shouldn't be getting yourself exposed to the sunshine too much when you have rosacea. There we go, that's one. Let's make another one and make it a bit more. Make it this way round and make it a bit more, yeah, a bit more, yeah, a bit more old. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, I thought it had gone wonky. A bit more vintage looking. Old, same thing. That's what I am, vintage stroke old. And then we'll measure it in a minute and see what the middle bit is. to try and get it fairly straight. Yeah, that'll do. And what's the middle of that? So we have, we'll go 2 again by 3, maybe. Yeah, 2 by 3. The animals went in 2 by 3. No, they didn't go 2 by 3. They went 2 by 2. 2 by 3 is wood, Dave. What shall I do? What shall I do? What am I doing? That's what I needed to know. What am I doing? Oh, maybe some. I've got some of this, which is music paper. Well, it's not music paper, it's music tissue, so it's not actually paper, it's not. So let's go, I'll cut that down, that seam. Oh no, let's measure it, Dave. What did I say? 2 by 3. Is that right? 2? That can't be right. No, it's right. It is right. It can't be right, but it is. Right, I'm just going to have to tear this bottom a bit off so that I can see the ruler sticking out the other end. And put that on that line. So tonight's tea. Anybody that's interested, tea, by the way, in the UK is evening meal. So tonight's dinner is Caesar salad. So, and Vic's doing it. So it'll be delicious. It's even more delicious when somebody else makes it, especially when Vic makes it. He's a very good cook. So will that go on there now? I think it needs to be a little bit shorter than that. Not shorter, not narrower. Less wide. Less wide, I don't know what I mean. It doesn't need to be 2, it needs to be like 2 7/8. Less wide? Not as wide. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's better. Right, so I think we need to colorise the background, or stick this onto something and colorise it. We could put it on some stuff. No. Something else. Don't know. Whether I like that. No, it's too heavy, that. What else can I stick it on then, Dave? Smart arse. Right, this is collage medium. We use some of this to paste it down. In fact, I'm going to use a paste spreader to paste it down with. Could do with leaning on something. Not that. Maybe lean on that. I'm unlikely to use that, Dave, so. The animals went in 2 by 2. Hurrah. Hurrah. That's stuck in my head. Why am I using collage medium? I don't know, because I am. That's why. And then if we stick that to there, try and get it a bit straight, Dave. should be able to see the text through it because we use collage medium as well. Except for there, because I didn't put enough on, clearly. So I'll smoosh it down with something. Not that. Not that. Let's use what we normally use. Not that. That'll do. Okay, so put the lid back on that. Screw it on. No, lid's not going back on. Okay, right. So, what should we put on there? Maybe today is the day to put a flower of some kind on. I wonder if I go over it with some collage medium as well. That will help with the look of it. It'll definitely take the shininess of the paper away. I just had a flashback of a memory. I thought somebody was coming up the stairs, and I turned around and it sounded like it was somebody coming up the stairs, but it sounded like the way that Worcester used to come up the stairs, and it made me feel a bit sad. So let's do that. Let's put that on. Do we want to put that on? If we put it on, I'm going to have to cut the edges off so it's not too visible. So more fussy cutting, I'm afraid, folks. Sorry. I think Vic's just been upstairs, but did it very quietly, and that's what gave me that flashback of a memory. But that's what Worcester used to do. He used to creep upstairs and then he'd come in the craft room. I'd only hear him when he came in. Some of you that used to watch the channel when I had Worcester will remember him coming in, tap dancing on the, because I've got hardwood floor in here, tap dancing on the floor. Could hear his nails on the floor. Gosh, I miss him so much. I've had a bit of a cry about him and my mum this morning as well. I'm really missing my mum at the minute, because when I used to feel like this, used to feel like I wasn't good enough. She was the one that made me feel like I was. She was the one that would tell me that how good I am and what a lovely person I am, and all the good that I do, and how talented, and all of that stuff, all the stuff that you just sometimes need to hear from somebody. And whilst I have other people, and Vic's very lovely, he is also very much on the autistic spectrum and doesn't always think to tell me such things. And it's just really hard sometimes. It's hard to keep going on sometimes, doing stuff and feeling like this. Not in a I don't want to go on type way, but I don't want to feel like this all the time. I don't want to feel miserable, and I want to have what other people have. I want to have the ability to have friends and do things and go places and see stuff and share it with people. And but anyway, I think a lot of artistic people struggle with who they are. Maybe our art is what kind of is supposed to make up for that, and it does do a good job at some point, sometimes, I mean, but not in others. But yeah, so focusing on fussy cutting at the moment is just helping me to stop myself from crying. So can't see where the edge of that vase is now. I might have fast forwarded through all of this though, so you might not even have heard it. There we go, cool. So that, I'm not going to cut that little tiny bit out on there, and then we'll cut round that, I think. Yeah. Oh dear, can I peel it off now? Right, let's put it in situ. Like that, or like that. Yeah, we're going to go there. Oh. There we go. And I think I'm just going to cut that down. And of course you can get very elaborate over these stamps, like as you've seen my bigger stamps, they can sometimes be very elaborate, but other times I just want them to just be something quite simple. We might put a number on that as well. I know we didn't on that one, but I don't think it needs it. On this one I think I might put, I don't know, a big number. Let's have a look. Put like, well, that's not a very big number, is it? Let's go 7. Yeah, I might put 7 on there. We'll do that in black, I think. Just make sure there's no other number that's going to contaminate that. Seven. We could just put a P on the end, but I don't know whether I have a P. I need a P. That's always the way, isn't it? Just when you start something. I don't know. I don't have a letter P. Well, I do. I'm sure I have a letter P, but I don't know where it is. Why don't you just draw it, Dave? Let's just write it on. Why don't we use one that's you can actually see the end of? For some reason the end of that's been pushed in. Okay, there we go. That's better. There you go, 7p. Okay. I'm going to put that on there. And I think we're going to call it a day after that. Because, like I say, not feeling it today. And I can then go and plan for the things that I am feeling. But at least I put something out, so I didn't, although I procrastinated, I didn't let it stop me. It's better to do something than to do nothing. That's the one that doesn't have any ink in it. let's not use that one. Let's use this one. Much better. So that one on there. I think we're going to leave it at that. I know it was not a lot. Well, I didn't make a lot. It was more about the cathartic feeling of making something. Being a bit vulnerable. Telling you how I feel. Hopefully being able to reset. And those people that have been with me for a long time know that I go through these periods, and it's just part and parcel of me. There we go. But of course then, once you've made a few, you can make them however you want. So if you've got a project where you think, oh, I could just do with a stamp on there, but I don't have anything that's suitable, you can just make one that is suitable. I'd love to be able to make them so they look real, but you know, I'm happy with the way that it has turned out. So, but there we go. So a couple of stamps that I've made. So anyway, that's it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Hopefully I will be back to normal and reset and feel chipper and more alive. And if I don't, that's just because that's me. Part and parcel of my life. But I will definitely see you in the next video. My name has been Dash of Dave. It has been Dash of Dave, and it always is Dash of Dave. And I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And go and spread some love, joy, peace and happiness with some other people, because I tell you now, there are people out there that might be carrying on as normal that really need it. Because that's exactly like when I was upset, it came out of the blue to Vic, and it was because I'm so good at masking it that everybody knows that I'm actually what I'm actually feeling inside. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Love you all. I've said that, done that. I'm gonna go before I make even more of a fool of myself. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of hugs. And I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye. Bye.